So my name is Paige Lane, and I currently work as a MRI radiographer's department assistant. So I'm just the assistant radiographers. Yeah, so within MRI, a day-to-day job is different every single day. So, for example, we run 2 scanners here on the Island Hospital. So we run an inpatient and an outpatient side. So, for example, today I'm working with the outpatient team. So we run a list of patients that come into the hospital for a variety of reasons for their scans. We deal with cannulations, we deal with contrast, as well as just dealing with what variety of scans. So we have all pretty much from the whole body. We do scans for spines, heads, knees, everything you can think of. In the inpatient scanners, we would liaise with the wards as well to book and work with the teams there, as well as our radiographers, to be able to get their scans booked, as well as get lists sorted, make sure everything kind of runs smoothly, make sure all safety declarations are completed, as well as liaising with doctors, just to make sure all the history of the patients are done to the safest form, basically, to make sure they're safe and compatible for the scans. Every day is different. So at the moment, we run obviously the 2 scanners, as well as we do admin as well. So we book in with our patients. So we'll call patients, send them letters, as well as working with teams all around the hospital to ensure that a patient is not only safe for the scan, but also their needs kind of qualify for having a scan done. MRIs are one of the safest scans because there's no radiation. But obviously it's a massive magnet. So say some patients, they may have a pacemaker here. Unfortunately, our hospital, we don't have a cardiac team to be able to help with the patients. So we need to make sure that everything it lines up ready so it is safe and secure for the patients to have the scans, not only for them, but for us as well. We need to make sure that they meet all the criteria for the scans. So with the wider care, we deal with people from all over the country, referrers wise. So some patients may be referred, for example, we have a patient that's from a spinal team. So that could be an external team. We will work closely with them to ensure that the scans not only are done to what they need, so if they need to look at a specific part for the patient to make sure, say they were going into surgery, we need to pinpoint as to what is being done to then make sure that that is completed in the scan, so everyone's kind of got the right clear view, field of view for the scan to go ahead. And then once the scan's completed, we'll send the images off. We sometimes also liaise with the teams that report the scans, and then if that certain referrer needs more information, then they can come back to us, and then we'll obviously point them in the right direction as to the reports and everything, just to kind of we're like the middleman of it. So the patient will see the doctor, we'll see them for the scan, we'll get all the information for the inside, get it reported, and then they back to their doctors to get their next steps. I think with diagnostic imaging, it's kind of like a forgotten about. It's an essential part of a healthcare circle. So say, for example, a patient came into A&E, they had pain in their back, for example. We're like the middleman kind of person, so we'll get the scans done, get the images for that doctor to be able to assess the patient a bit more in depth and to try and get the correct help they would need. So I think the most rewarding part for this job is you're kind of getting that crucial answer for the patient. So they say, doctor, you can't, obviously they can clinically diagnose, but it's nice to be able to give them the images so they can pinpoint as to where the patient's getting the pain or find out properly what's going on. I do love learning. I love learning new things. And the thing with the NHS is that they always push you to, if you want to progress in your career, then they'll support you. And I'm very fortunate within this hospital that they work with Dynamic. And as soon as this role came up for the apprenticeship, it was a no-brainer to take it, because I wanted to be able to further my knowledge and my career in this field. And it's a field that is very vast and there's so much you can learn. So there's so many different modalities you can learn from. So being a part of this apprenticeship, I've been able to work with different modalities such as like CT, general, even places like the children's ward and A&E. I've just shadowed just to learn what like so much more that you can, not just within MRI, but with a massive variety throughout the NHS. So it has definitely inspired me to want to progress more, and the course has helped me massively with that. In a professional aspect, it's helped me to gain more knowledge, not only within my department, but with other departments. The apprenticeship itself, you've got your mentors who are like, they've been a part of that modality. So my mentor's been in diagnostic imaging, they've qualified in that. So having someone in that kind of field, you can relate to them as to questions. Let's say if I had something in a general x-ray, a question, they'd be able to help in that aspect. But it's also helped me personally just progress in my confidence. So I never did have much confidence before this. So knowing that I can put my knowledge to use as well as to push myself a bit more. My mentors in the in Dynamic, they are very good at showing that you have got the knowledge and you can do it. And it's helping having that guidance behind you and that person just kind of pushing you on, not in a like very judgy way. It's very relaxed and it's very calm, and any feedback you get from them as well is incredible. So it's never a negative in it, which is really nice. One main thing that I can think of for this is that a key skill that we had, I learnt from the CNS team. So with the apprenticeship, we got to do a module kind of thing on how a patient can come in. But a key skill I learned through the Dynamic team was to go and shadow a completely different department that you wouldn't really learn much, you wouldn't really know much from. So when I went through that, I didn't expect to learn how that specific team kind of work. So when I done the shadowing from that, it was kind of more an eye-opener. And then when I fed back to Dynamics through my mentor on that, it helped me with my workbook that I'd been set. And I'd learn more about how a patient, once they're already in, they have that that person that they kind of rely on to seek the help that they need. And then they're there by each step of the way. And I didn't know that we kind of did that. So being able to go and do that as a shadow and get that as a sign-off was more of an eye-opener than I thought it was going to be. Just go for it. I was very hesitant in the beginning because I didn't know what to expect. I'd done previous courses where I'd thought it would give me loads of information, but it was information that was kind of not necessary, if that makes sense. Whereas this course has not only been a variety of learning more, like you've got your health and social, but you've also got your in-depth of your modality that you're already in. So with the diagnostic one, there's not a lot you can go on. There's not many courses you can do for diagnostic, whether that's the apprenticeships, just to be able to become a radiographer. So this is like that stepping stone to be able to get an insight as to what you want to do. And it's opened my eyes, because I originally thought I wanted to do a specific modality, and my mind's completely changed since doing this apprenticeship, and I've progressed more into another route, which is still diagnostic, but I never thought I would want to go that way because I never knew it existed. So within MRI, we get a lot of patients that do not have a clue about it, and they're very, very claustrophobic because they've heard just normal stories of it's an enclosed space. So with this specific patient, we managed to get them in. They were very, very claustrophobic, so they didn't know that they could have someone stay in with them because obviously there's no radiation. So we ended up staying in with the patient the whole time, just making sure they were at ease throughout the whole scan. Unfortunately for the patient, it was something that they didn't have much information on as to why they were being scanned, and it was a staging scan. So we made sure that everything was as comfortable as they could for it. It was more of a rewarding scan that we were able to do. We managed to squeeze them in slots. They didn't have to travel to the mainland for the slot. We managed to get reported really quickly, and it made their diagnosis a lot more comfortable because they've been passed to and fro throughout the whole process of being in with the hospital in that day. So being able to be with that patient and kind of make their stay, even though it was not a nice experience as to what they're being diagnosed with, they remember, and we're still in contact with this specific patient. She pops down and brings us like a tub of biscuits because we managed to catch something that was so early for them, and she got treated very quickly. And yeah, that was a massive experience for me to be able to make a difference and get something sorted as quickly as we could and kind of change someone's life. So the good thing with the diagnostic teams, they're all incredible, and you can also do your shadowings with them if you wanted to just get an insight. If you're hesitant about the course, I would say it's 100% what I expected and more for it. You don't get much input from diagnostic imaging, like in the sense of there's not a lot of courses out there that's primarily deal with diagnostic imaging. So to have a course out there that can not only further your career, but can also give you that stepping stone as to what you can achieve and how many options are out there for this. That's one good thing with this course, is that you've got such a broad spectrum as to knowledge you can gain and learning you can have from this. So I'd definitely say just seek out the information, contact the team at Dynamic, and they're amazing. They will help you with that process. So my aim is to get some more qualifications under my belt. So I'd like to be able to fully progress into becoming a radiographer. So this was my first step in doing that. So the next step is to seek out next courses that I can get to kind of be able to become a radiographer in the end.